I am Adam Randall, and I'm on likez TV for Night TV.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Adam. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
It is so nice to have you on this podcast. Thank you for your time. Thank you for coming in. But first of all, Adam, how are you? Tell us, how are you?
I am good, thank you. I am good. I'm excited that this film is finally coming out. It's been a long journey, but feeling good, yeah. How are you?
I'm good. You know, I'm in France. The weather is not too bad, actually, so we're good. Adam, 90th is your second movie on Netflix. Yeah. The first one was iBoy.
Yes.
And a lot of directors, you know, cherish their collaboration with Netflix. Yeah. How much is great to work with them? Can you confirm it?
It's been brilliant working with them. iBoy was a different thing in a way because it was so early. You know, we were the first UK Netflix film, and actually we had struggled to make that film for years, and we were in prep, and we were making it for the money that we'd managed to gather, which was about 600,000. So we were like 8 weeks away from shooting, and then Netflix read it. To cut a long story short, said they wanted to come on board and fully finance it. So they doubled the budget, and suddenly everything sort of flowed, and it was great. And then we shot the film, started putting it together, and they watched the dailies and some of the scenes and said they wanted it to be an original, which was quite a new thing to us at that point. Now it's just, you know, everybody knows it, but at that point it was like an original. What does that even mean, really? But you know, in the end it was really great for that film. You know, it really helped get it to the right audience. And whereas Night Teeth was, you know, we gave the script to them, developed it with them. They were fully involved, you know, from day one, really. So, and it was a great process. The film changed a lot. It expanded, you know, from what we pitched initially. The initial script was a low budget horror film, and now it's a, you know, bigger budget.
Yeah. I can tell.
Crime, thriller, you know, comedy, supernatural, hybrid. You know, it's sort of transformed.
Yeah. Talk about fun, yeah. You know, 90th is your second movie horror genre, you know. The prior was I See You, an amazing twisted horror drama. I remember that. It was amazing. This one seems, like you said, completely different, you know, entertaining, a lot of fun. It's a vampire story. Was something you always wanted to explore, you know, from different angle, you know, vampires?
You know, not really. Like, I never had like an urge to make a vampire film. You know, I love some vampire. You know, I love Lost Boys when I was a kid, and still.
Oh yeah, classic.
It's got Near Dark is an incredible film. You know, Thirst is a brilliant film. But I never felt like that's what I want. I want to make a vampire film. It was actually other things with this that were the exciting part to me. You know, the sort of Benny and his journey, and the fact of how, which is a very British thing, I think, of how ill-suited he is to the journey that he's on. You know, normally you get Keanu Reeves who can go into this world and just kick everyone's ass, and, you know, whereas the kind of British thing is you put somebody who's not really very equipped to deal with the situation and watch how that works, you know, that sort of juxtaposition. And so I really loved that, you know, and I actually at the time was living in LA and was really exploring all these different areas. And the film obviously takes place over one night across all these different neighborhoods. And so, you know, there was a huge amount of time.
How long did you shoot in LA?
In LA, we shot for just under 3 weeks. We actually shot a lot of it in New Orleans, which, you know, is just making movies. And when I read the script, I was like, I'm going to be in LA for a couple, you know, and actually then shoot in New Orleans, which was amazing experience. But
that's nice. You know, when I saw the trailer the first time, it reminds me, you know, a little bit of Collateral from Michael Mann.
Yeah.
But instead, professional killer, we have vampires. It is something, you know, in the approach that reminds you the same thing, or Michael Mann was an inspiration? Of course, he's an amazing director.
Yeah, it's an incredible. I mean, like the inside, it's like just. I mean, he obviously a man. I mean, actually, the initial pitch, the producer, when he first told me about this project, he just said it's collateral with vampires. You know, that was like,
yeah.
And then I rewatched it again. When I was in development on it, and I mean, it's very different tonally. That's obviously a much more sort of serious film. But there's structurally it's similar. There's no doubt about that.
It is.
Yeah.
The cast is amazing. Debbie Ryan, George Lenonborg, Lucy Fry. You have also great guests: Megan Fox, Alexander Ludwig, Alfie Allen, Raul Castillo. It's like a reunion. I guess it was fun, to have them all on set. And how was the ambience, with the main cast and the guests?
Yeah. With the main cast, our kind of three main cast, it was brilliant. I mean, it was proper collaboration with them. They were like so involved. We spent a lot of time together before we started because it was so important, that dynamic between the three of them. And then actually, in a way, Night Teeth is like two movies, in that you've got Benny's story where he's with the girls, and it's almost like a sort of it's got almost like an 80s sort of like One Crazy Night vibe to it, which is like a lot of what I've sort of referenced in that tone. And then on the other side, you've got a sort of more serious action thriller where you've got Raul Castillo, who plays Jay, and it's the colliding of those two things that's really fun. So they didn't, in a way, interact that much. Like, for example, like Megan Fox and Sydney Sweeney were never with Debbie and Lucy and George, but then you had people like Alexander Ludwig, who, he was there for it was 2 nights, but he just like goes, I want to just show you a way I wanted to approach the character. And then he did, Rocco. And it was just like, what? I mean, that's an actor who takes something on the page and just takes it to another level. I mean, so that was one of the most fun parts of shooting this. Nightclub in the VIP room, the kind of night legion have surrounded the girls, and Benny has this moment where he basically smashes a bottle on this guy's head and all chaos is unleashed. And that was a moment in which, like, it was much more simple in the script. There wasn't actually a fight. But I really wanted to sort of this explosion of sort of violence to happen. And I wanted to do it in a very specific way, which is how we shot it. And it's one of those very few times when the exact idea in my head is exactly what ended up in the film, and the music to it is exactly what I was listening to, and then did the test to, and then we played it on set, and everything just sort of worked really well. And it was quite a tricky idea to sort of get across, especially as you've got your two lead actors doing their own stunts, but they're out of focus in the background. It's sort of the anti-studio thing to do. So there was, it was a tricky thing in a way to sort of explain to everyone. And so it was just really fun and satisfying to put that together. The other one is there's a scene in the convenience store where Benny's just smoked potentially angel dust. You don't never quite find out. So he's kind of like mildly hallucinating, certainly tripping out. And it was just a really fun scene. It's a really great scene on the page. And then we just played around with it and added this kind of the two of them dancing. And so it's just one of those scenes that was just huge fun. And it just felt like all the different pieces were coming together.
It seems like to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to see it. And, because when I saw the trailer, I guess it was like there's two plots, like Benny with the girls driving all night. And, in the other side, the dark side, we can see that there's, vampires, and, like they are established in our society, and they got their own system. And I can't wait to see that. It is an open door on a universe or something, maybe another movies or another story or something.
Yeah, but like we certainly thought about that. I mean, we created a whole world and a kind of mythology, and it's, thousands of years old, and you're only seeing LA. you know. So what the rest of the world looks like, I mean, we've talked about it, you know.
Yeah.
We're seeing a very small part of this, but we've talked about, you know, what does Vegas look like? What is the rest of the US look like? What is Europe? What is, you know, we had the whole thing at one point in the script. There was a whole thing about Paris, you know. Yeah, there's definitely opportunities for further stories.
I hope so. Adam, I wish you the best. Adam, thank you for your time. Thank you for coming on the likez TV. I can't wait to see this movie because I'm in love with vampires and everything. So I wish you to be successful on Netflix and have 100 of movies with them. And you come back anytime, mate. It was so much fun to have you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Be blessed and stay safe, Adam.
Take care. All right.
Bye.